If you haven't seen the video titled Waiting List Concepts, I recommend that you watch it and then come back and view this video. This video will cover the details to add, edit, or remove an applicant from one or more waiting lists. You'll also learn about additional features pertaining to waiting list applications. I'm going to select a file which I've already created as explained in the Waiting List Concepts video. We're going to go into the Waiting List Info screen. Here we can see the mailing address, the annual income, and number of people in the family has already been entered. I'm going to go ahead and make a few changes. I'm just going to change our, let's change our income, and let's change our family size. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this person back onto a waiting list. An applicant may be added to more than one waiting list by using the Add button. Each record in this screen represents an application to a specific waiting list. I'll go ahead and click Add. We'll select our waiting list. The date and time of application will default to the date and time on your computer. Each should be edited to reflect the applicant's date and time of application. I'm going to go ahead and select this for a 2-bedroom unit. Right above here, the last updated field is meant to reflect the most recent date the application was updated. Please note the Update History button cannot be used until the waiting list detail record has been saved. Once saved, you can edit and maintain a log of update history by using this button. If you use the Update History button, the most recent update will automatically be inserted into the last updated field for you. So I'm going to go ahead and put in today's date right here. Date off and reason off fields are used to remove someone from the waiting list and will be demonstrated later in this video. So we'll click Save. If the waiting list you added the applicant to has preferences, it's very important not to forget to go into the Preferences screen and select the appropriate preferences. These preferences will affect the person's position on the waiting list. So let's do that. Let's go into Preferences. Here we can see we've got both a Regular Preferences tab and a Location Preferences tab. Regular preferences are used for waiting list ranking purposes. Location preferences are used for the purpose of identifying locations that an applicant may be interested in and do not affect the ranking. Changes to preferences can be viewed by clicking the Preference History button. I'll go ahead and specify that this person's a veteran, and we'll just click Save. I'm not going to indicate any kind of location preferences. We'll just click on Save. The Rank button is used to display the applicant's position on the selected waiting list. If the most recent ranking date is old, you may click the Get Latest Rank button to refresh the information. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then you can see the information here has been updated. It reflects that this person is number 1 on the 2-bedroom waiting list. It's the first person I've added to this list. We'll click back to get out of here. The Refusals button is for the purpose of documenting the date and circumstances regarding the offer of a unit or voucher which was refused by the applicant. The refusal date and comments will appear on the waiting list report but will not impact the person's position on the waiting list. The Void and Audit checkboxes are not controls. They are just visual indicators. For example, if any edits have occurred, the Audit checkbox will display a check mark indicating changes have occurred. Those changes can be viewed by selecting the appropriate waiting list entry and then clicking the Audit History button. So let's do that. Let's click on this particular waiting list entry where we can see there is an Audit checkbox. So let's click Audit History. And here you can see the kind of information that gets recorded. It records the person who made the change, the date and time of the change, what the old value of the fields were, and what new values of those fields are. So close out of here. The Letters button enables you to generate documents with mail merge capability. The Notes button enables you to view or enter notes. One of the predefined note categories is titled Waiting List. Let's go into Notes, and we'll just click Add. So you can see here if I scroll down, Waiting List. If you want to add notes pertaining to the application, this is likely the most appropriate category. The waiting list notes are shown on the waiting list report unless you deselect notes from the report output. I'm going to cancel out of here. The Edit button displays the waiting list detail. Its most common use is to enter the last updated date or to remove someone from a waiting list. For example, if we want to remove this person from the waiting list after multiple failed attempts to contact the person, we simply select Edit, fill in the date off, and select the appropriate reason. Let's just take a look at this prior waiting list entry here. We'll click Edit. And so here we can see that they went off on this date and for this reason. To the right of the reason off field is an icon that allows you to define additional choices for your drop-down list. During the move-in process, a screen prompt will enable you to remove the person from the waiting list by checking a box. If checked, the program automatically inserts the move-in date in the date off field and enters move-in and the account number in the reason off field, as we can see here for this rental lacrosse waiting list. The void button should not be used to remove someone from a waiting list. Its purpose is to void an application that should not have been entered to begin with. The void button was created in place of a delete button so an audit trail is maintained. An applicant or a tenant's waiting list information is a permanent part of their file.